The cafe in Prague is nearly empty at 3 a.m. Rain streaks the windows like tears, blurring the neon lights of a city that never quite sleeps. In the corner booth, positioned strategically with clear sight lines to all entrances, a woman sits alone, stirring coffee that has long gone cold. To anyone watching, and she always assumes someone is watching, she appears unremarkable. Mid-50s, blonde hair pulled back in a simple ponytail, wearing jeans and a cable-knit sweater that could have come from any American department store. The kind of woman you'd see at a grocery store, chatting about her book club. But appearances in her line of work are everything. Her name is Jennifer Aniston. Not the Jennifer Aniston that the world knows, but the Jennifer Aniston that governments pretend doesn't exist. And for the past 29 years, she has been one of the world's most efficient killers. The phone buzzes softly. A text message in code. Package delivered. Client satisfied. Transfer confirmed. Another job completed. Another life ended with the precision of a surgeon and the invisibility of a ghost. Jennifer deletes the message and takes a sip of her cold coffee. Somewhere in Sofia, a money launderer for human trafficking operations will never wake up from what appeared to be a heart attack. His death will create a gap in the financial network that will save hundreds of potential victims. Across the world, morning shows will soon begin their cheerful chatter about weather and celebrity gossip. Somewhere in New York, 5 people are probably meeting for coffee, laughing about romantic complications, living out the kind of uncomplicated friendship that she once turned down for a much darker path. The irony is not lost on her. While America fell in love with Rachel Green and her friends, Jennifer Aniston was learning to kill people in 17 different ways using only household objects. It started with a choice. 1994. A pilot script called Friends Like Us, later renamed simply Friends. 6 young people navigating life and love in New York City. The role of Rachel Green, a spoiled rich girl who discovers independence in a coffee shop called Central Perk. Jennifer read the script in her small Los Angeles apartment, surrounded by headshots and the usual detritus of a struggling actress. The dialogue was sharp, the concept appealing, and the role had genuine potential. But something about it left her feeling empty. Like eating cotton candy when you're genuinely hungry. It's just fluff, she told her agent over the phone. Cotton candy, sweet, but ultimately meaningless. People are dying in Rwanda. The Soviet Union collapsed and left weapons scattered across Eastern Europe, and we're supposed to make people laugh about dating problems. Jennifer, it's network television. It's NBC. This could make your career.
But what kind of career?
Playing dress up and pretending to have problems that aren't actually problems while real problems exist in the world. Her agent was silent for a moment. What are you talking about? Real problems. Jennifer had been reading a lot about international conflicts, about terrorism, about shadow wars that governments fought while their citizens worried about sitcom ratings. The Cold War had ended, but new threats were emerging. Drug cartels, arms dealers, human traffickers, people who operated in the gaps between laws. I want to do something that matters, she said finally. Acting matters. Entertainment matters. You make people happy. People are dying while other people are being entertained. I want to be on the side that's stopping the dying. The conversation ended badly, with her agent suggesting therapy for what he called her hero complex. But Jennifer didn't flee to teaching. She fled to Langley, Virginia. The CIA recruitment process was unlike anything she'd experienced in Hollywood. No headshots, no auditions, no callbacks, just psychological evaluations that probed deeper than any method acting exercise, physical fitness tests, and interviews that examined every corner of her life. Why do you want to work for the agency? The recruiter asked during her final interview. Because acting is lying, Jennifer replied. And I'm tired of lying about things that don't matter. I want to lie about things that do. You understand that this work is dangerous, that you might die in a foreign country, that your death might never be acknowledged. I understand that my death might actually mean something, which is more than I can say about my career. They accepted her into the training program 6 months later. While the Friends pilot was being filmed with another blonde actress, Jennifer was learning to fire weapons with deadly accuracy, to speak 4 languages fluently, and to disappear into any crowd in any city. The farm, the CIA's training facility in rural Virginia, became her new stage. Instead of memorizing lines, she memorized weapon specifications. Instead of learning to project emotion, she learned to suppress it entirely. Instead of developing chemistry with co-stars, she learned to develop trust with handlers who might send her to die in countries most Americans couldn't locate on a map. You have a gift for becoming anyone, her handler told her, after a successful training exercise. People trust you instinctively. They want to like you. Is that good or bad in this business? It's perfect. The best killers are the ones nobody suspects. Meanwhile, Friends became a cultural phenomenon. The actress who replaced Jennifer became one of the most recognizable faces on television. Jennifer watched occasionally from hotel rooms in Sarajevo or Beirut, marveling at the parallel universe where she might have been America's sweetheart instead of America's secret weapon. The actress who replaced Jennifer, who played Rachel Green, became one of the most recognizable faces on television. Jennifer watched occasionally from hotel rooms in Sarajevo or Beirut, or wherever her assignments took her, marveling at the parallel universe where she might have been America's sweetheart instead of America's secret weapon. The money from Friends would have made her rich. The fame would have made her recognizable. The work Jennifer chose instead made her invisible, which in her profession was worth more than any amount of money or fame. Her first kill was in 1997, an arms dealer in Belgrade who was selling weapons to both sides of ethnic conflicts. Jennifer posed as a journalist writing a story about post-war reconstruction. She met him in a hotel bar, charmed him over drinks, went to his room, and ended his life with a syringe full of synthetic poison that would be mistaken for a heart attack. She felt nothing afterward. No guilt, no satisfaction, no dramatic emotional revelation. Just the quiet recognition that she'd prevented those weapons from reaching people who would have used them to kill innocent families. "How do you feel?" her handler asked when she reported back. "Like I just finished a job," Jennifer replied. "Good. That's how it should feel." Over the years, Jennifer developed a reputation within the intelligence community. Cool, professional, utterly reliable. She specialized in long-term deep cover operations, spending months or even years establishing false identities in target communities. The pharmaceutical sales representative became her favorite cover. It allowed her to travel extensively, meet people from all walks of life, and maintain the kind of boring, respectable facade that made people comfortable enough to reveal their secrets. The list of her targets reads like a directory of the world's worst people: terrorist financiers, drug cartel leaders, human traffickers, war criminals hiding in plain sight, each death carefully planned, meticulously executed, designed to look like accident or natural causes. 29 years, 43 confirmed kills, and not once had anyone suspected that the friendly woman selling blood pressure medication was actually one of the most lethal operatives in the world. But the work aged her in ways that television never would have. Not physically. She'd maintained the kind of wholesome appearance that made her perfect for undercover work. But psychologically, the constant lying, the perpetual alertness, the knowledge that every relationship was potentially false or dangerous, had carved something essential out of her soul. She had no real friends. How could she? Every person she met was either a target, a potential threat, or a civilian who needed to be protected from the truth of who she was. She'd had lovers over the years, but never love. How do you build trust with someone when your entire life is a carefully constructed lie? In 2004, the same year Friends ended its 10-year run, Jennifer was deep undercover in Moscow, posing as a cultural attaché while tracking a former KGB operative who was selling state secrets to the highest bidder. She watched the Friends finale from her hotel room, seeing the actress who'd lived the life she rejected say goodbye to the character that might have been hers. The finale was watched by 52 million Americans. Jennifer's target was eliminated 3 days later with no one noticing except a CIA handler who received her mission report. Now in this Prague cafe, Jennifer stirs her cold coffee and contemplates retirement. At 55, she's earned the right to step away from the life she chose. The agency has been hinting that it might be time for her to transition to a training role, to pass her skills to a new generation of operatives who think the world can be saved with technology and surveillance, rather than old-fashioned human intelligence. But there's one last job, one final assignment that her handler insists only she can complete, a job that requires someone with her specific background, her unique skill set, her particular history. The target is someone from her past, someone who knows her face, her real name, her history before she became a ghost. Someone who has to be eliminated before Jennifer can safely disappear into the civilian life she's never known, but has always wondered about. Her phone buzzes again, another coded message that would look like spam to anyone intercepting it. Reunion confirmed. All packages will be present. proceed as planned. Jennifer deletes the message and allows herself a small, bitter smile. Tomorrow she flies to Los Angeles for a Friends reunion special. A celebration of the show that made 5 actors into millionaires and household names. That created a cultural touchstone for an entire generation. That proved American television could export optimism and friendship to the entire world. The reunion is being filmed on the original sets at Warner Brothers, the same soundstage where she might have spent a decade pretending to serve coffee and navigate romantic complications. Instead, she'd spent those years serving death and navigating international conspiracies that would have given any sitcom writer nightmares. But this reunion isn't about nostalgia for Jennifer. It's about eliminating a liability. One of the Friends cast members, she can't reveal which one even to herself until the moment arrives, has been compromised. Not by enemy agents or foreign governments, but by their own moral awakening. They've discovered Jennifer's real identity, not through investigation or accident, but because they've been recruited by the same organization that wants to expose CIA operations to public scrutiny. They think they're being a whistleblower, a hero revealing government overreach. They think they understand the difference between right and wrong in a world where Jennifer has spent 30 years learning that such distinctions are luxuries that operatives can't afford. They don't understand that some secrets exist to protect innocent people, that some lies are told in service of truth too dangerous for civilian minds to process, that the world they've been entertaining for 30 years was kept safe by people like Jennifer doing things that would horrify the audiences who made them rich. Jennifer pays for a coffee and walks into the Prague night. The rain has stopped, but the streets still shine with reflected neon, creating the kind of noir atmosphere that would have made a perfect backdrop for the spy thriller her life actually became instead of the romantic comedy it might have been. Tomorrow she'll board a plane to Los Angeles. She'll smile for cameras, laugh at old memories, and pose for photographs with people who think they knew her when she was young and innocent. People who have no idea that the woman they're embracing has killed more people than some small wars. And then when the cameras stop rolling and the audience goes home, she'll complete her final assignment. She'll eliminate the threat to national security that wears a familiar face and speaks with a voice that once brought joy to millions of Americans. The transition from secret agent to civilian life requires one last kill. The irony is perfect. To become Jennifer Aniston, the private citizen, she must first kill the last connection to Jennifer Aniston, the actress who never was. In her hotel room overlooking the Vltava River, Jennifer packs methodically, one suitcase, carefully curated to support her cover story as a pharmaceutical consultant attending a corporate retreat. Hidden within the lining are the tools of her trade, synthetic poisons, miniature surveillance equipment, and a single photograph that she's carried for 29 years. The photograph shows 6 young actors around a table, reading scripts and laughing at something off camera. It's a publicity shot from the early days of Friends, when the show was still finding its identity and the cast was still discovering their chemistry. Jennifer isn't in the photograph, but she should have been. In another timeline, another choice, another life, she would have been the 6th person at that table, building lifelong friendships instead of ending lives professionally. She studies the faces in the photograph, people who became wealthy and famous by pretending to care about each other, while she became dangerous and anonymous by actually caring about the world. Which choice was right? Which life had more meaning? Tomorrow, she'll find out. The reunion special is scheduled to film for 3 days. Interviews, table readings, recreations of famous scenes, a celebration of friendship and success, and the American dream of ordinary people becoming extraordinary through talent and luck, and being in the right place at the right time. But for Jennifer, it will be a funeral, the death of her old life and the birth of whatever comes next. If she succeeds, she'll disappear forever, becoming the kind of anonymous citizen she's protected for 3 decades. If she fails, she'll die in the place where her life might have been completely different. She places the photograph back in her suitcase, between forged passport documents and a small vial of colorless liquid that will cause cardiac arrest within minutes of ingestion. 29 years ago, Jennifer Aniston chose to serve her country instead of entertaining it. Tomorrow she'll discover whether that choice was worth the price she's paid in isolation, deception, and moral compromise. The rain continues to fall outside her window, washing the streets of Prague clean. In 12 hours she'll be on a plane to Los Angeles, returning to a city she left as a struggling actress, and revisiting as one of the world's most accomplished killers. The stage is set for her final performance. The only question remaining is whether the audience will survive the show. But first, She needs to decide which of her former castmates has become enough of a threat to national security to deserve death, which friend must die, so that Jennifer Aniston can finally live. The choice, like all her choices, will be made with precision, logic, and absolutely no emotion whatsoever. After all, she's a professional.